I want to welcome you back to Old Testament Survey. This is your last week. You're in the home stretch. You are almost finished. So as you get ready to wrap things up this week, let me remind you of a couple of important assignment-related things. First off, your writing project, which was opened up for you last week, is due on the 29th. That is 1 week from tonight. So it is due by 11:59 on the 29th. Remember, for the writing project, when you open up that assignment, you have 3 options. Choose only one of those 3 questions to answer. And again, just choose one out of the 3 to answer for the writing project. And the instructions for the writing project are right there with the question. The second thing for you to keep in mind is the final, and the final is due at the same time, 1 week from today at 11:59 p.m. and on the 29th. And the final, what you're doing for the final is you have to read the book of Tobit, which is assigned to you in that last week of Moodle. Read the book of Tobit, and then I want you to pay attention as you read the book for references to events that have occurred in the Old Testament that we've already read. Okay? Pay attention to events, experiences, commitments, and characters, all these different things that have shown up in the other parts of the Old Testament. The book of Tobit is technically not a part of the Old Testament canon. It's called the Deuterocanonicals. It's a part of the Deuterocanonical books or the Apocrypha. Deuterocanonical, by the way, means secondary canon or secondary book. So I want you to keep in mind that the book of Tobit was written a little bit later than the other books in the Old Testament. So I want you to look for references to characters or events or commitments or values, that kind of thing. And the instructions for this are in the final exam assignment. So what you're going to do is you're going to write briefly about them. I'm going to read to you the exact instructions, and then I want you to review them for yourselves before you take the final. The book of Tobit tells a fanciful tale of a righteous man, his son who's searching for a wife and also searching for lost treasure, and an angel who accompanies him on that journey. It's a really great read. It's a fun read. You've been assigned this book because it includes numerous references to events and experiences in the Old Testament. The way Tobit and his family live also reflects some of the religious, spiritual, and moral commitments that Jewish people of that era commonly held. So in a brief essay, 3 paragraphs, I want you to identify one event referred to in Tobit that can be found elsewhere in the Old Testament and speak about it briefly. In addition, I want you to identify 2 or more commitments, values, practices, or characters that were important to people in the Old Testament as well, and include chapter and verse references both from Tobit and from the Old Testament that you're covering. It's a fairly simple process, and if you read the book of Tobit and if you've done your other reading so far in the class, you'll have no problem completing this assignment. So again, finish your writing project, read the book of Tobit, and complete the final exam. It's fairly simple, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. And then lastly, I want to remind you there's still a reading quiz for this week. So go ahead and complete the reading quiz as well that is due for this week. And hopefully everything else will be wrapped up for your final week of Old Testament survey. It's been a pleasure having all of you in class. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Take care and God bless you.